This morning, I always do this because I depend on Spirit to let the words flow with ease while I express the beauty of your being. This is what I tell Spirit. And all of a sudden, my God, what about the music? I hadn't heard from Rich or Joe. So anyway, I stopped my invitation. I called Joe. I said, Joe, aren't you on today? Because usually he comes early. His car's not out there. No, he says, we're not on today. And well, what about Rich? No, I don't think he's on today either. So we were, and in the meantime, before that, I tried the walking mic, and it didn't work. I thought, oh, this is okay. Because in the Marine Corps, after 14 years of the jarheads, I learned that everything's adaptable. We can adapt to any situation. So what did I do? I called Linda. And I told her how much I appreciated her as being a co-pastor. And she said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So she took care of it. Anyway, here we are. Ushering in the theme for September. Affirmations, right? And what's so neat about it, this theme, and I'm not going to do any traveling today because I don't want to carry this thing, and so I'll just here be at the mic and look at my notes. But this theme for September should be dear to our hearts. And why is that? Because it covers the nuts and bolts of how we can experience a joy-filled, abundant life. And we can boil it down into one small phrase. I thought about this morning. It was really a cool idea. We can boil it down to one small phrase. How to communicate with myself to experience my greater good. Isn't that awesome? Let's clap for that phrase. And what it is, what this month's about is, it's all about me. Let's say it's all about me. It's all about me. It is. Because this month we're going to go to the core of our being, the very core of it. We are a self-contained, creative dynamo. That's what we are. And that we have this ongoing communication with Source, with the source of all there is. That's what we do. And at that third dimensional level, we create everything that we want to ever create. But it's up to us. So I'm not saying that we're neurotic. I'm not saying that we're paranoid schizophrenics. I'm not saying that. But we do talk to ourselves. What I am saying is that we accept as fact that there's only one God, there's only one mind, there's only one consciousness, and as creative dynamos, as a life form of this tremendous energy, we speak to ourselves, and that's who we are. And let's accept it and get on with our lives. As youngsters, we are told when we're in Sunday school that we must always have pure thoughts. Have you had this? People say that? Because God is watching. I mean, I've had that happen to me in Sunday school. God is watching. Always have pure thoughts. Of course, the issue there was to scare the pants out of all of us that we don't have impure thoughts, so we'd go to hell. So basically, it was the church of everlasting guilt. But as I got a little bit older, I realized something. As I got into this belief system 42 years ago, 1970, I realized those spiritual teachers were right. They were right. God is listening to us. What does all that mean? We're listening to ourselves, actually. There's a story that, what's so empowering for me during September is that I realize that the total responsibility of what I'm going to experience is up to me. I'm responsible for myself. And the bottom line is it is up to me. And there's a story about this gal who was, she was from Hawaii. She came to the United States. Her name was Corey. And she really was going through nursing training, but she was getting a little lonely. She's been away from home for a while. So she decided to talk to herself as well. She said, I am going to spend my 3-week break visiting my folks in Hawaii. Pretty good. And she had been saving a little money, but she was $100 short. I'm going to do this. And without putting any doubt in the mix at all, she decided to do these things as she spoke to herself. She contacted the Postal Service, and she had them delay her postage. She arranged with a friend to take her to the airport. And she visualized herself boarding the airplane and strapping herself into the seat of the airplane itself. And here it is, like 5 days before Christmas. She was $100 short. I will be going to Hawaii. And so it was just the last day of school. She went to school in the morning, and then she went to her job in the afternoon as a waitress. So she walks into the restaurant, and the person who she was relieving said, oh, by the way, that gentleman at table 5, he's been there about an hour, as if he's waiting for somebody. Would you try to check him out? And she says, no problem, I will. So anyway, she goes up to the gentleman. He was a really pleasant-looking guy. He had old Levi's on and a plaid shirt and a black baseball cap. She says, hello, I'm Corey, your waitress, and can I do anything for you? Is there anything you would like? And he looked at her and he says, yes, there is, as a matter of fact. I'll have some nachos. And she took his order, and on her way to place the order, she thought, you know, nachos are the cheapest thing on our menu. It's like $2.90. That poor fellow probably doesn't have any money to go ahead and have a decent meal. So she got them nachos that put in front of him, and she said, that'll be $2.90. And he said, here, take this bill and you can keep the change. And so she took the bill, and she's looking at the book. She looked again. It's a $100 bill. You say, wait a minute, sir. You gave me a $100 bill. He says, yes, it's Christmas time. Have a very Merry Christmas. He stands up and he walks out. She thought in her mind, she said, thank you, God. I'm going home. It's amazing. I think when we finally embrace the idea of who and what we are, that we have this direct communication, this conversation with Source. That's who we are. That miracles, we do discover the so-called miracles in our lives. Here at the PLC, I like to say that we accept as fact that our very nature is one that has the power, the authority, and the skills to have a conversation with Source at all times. That's what it is. This whole month is about our conversation with ourselves, because we are the Source. And that we are this life form of God, the divine. And we are not only the creative process itself, but we are the I am in action. Now that may seem heresy to many of your prior beliefs, but that's who I am. I am the I am in action. That's what we all are. And we shouldn't sell ourselves so short when the microphone goes off or the musicians didn't show up. So what? So what? This is just the contents. What we truly are is Source energy itself. What's kind of neat is Greg Braden and also my dear friend Walter Starkey, who made his transition, and we're reading his new book, and he wrote that book in transition. They quoted a guy named Novell. Anybody know that? He's a 20th century visionary. And Novell wrote several books during his lifetime. And one thing that he did focus on was the idea that there's only one thing that stands in our way of experiencing miracles in the human drama. And the only thing that stands in our way is ourselves. That